We looked like such babies. We were so young.
Prue, in here, working on the chandelier.
The show was about 3 girls who were growing up and, you know, coming into who they were as adults.
I think you have the wrong house. Certainly the wrong mommy.
Stop fooling.
That's definitely, I knew what happened for me. I mean, I was 24 when we started the show, and I think 32 when it ended. So those were very defining periods in my life. I went to the network to test, and so they were in love with Shannon, but they didn't want me. They felt that they needed someone with more star power, which was their quote, to stand next to Shannon. And Aaron became livid. I don't know what in the stars this man saw in me, but thank goodness, because he was one of my biggest champions, you know, second to none other than Shannon. Basically, they both threw down the gauntlet and said, we're not doing the show without Holly. If you want to do the show, you're going to do it without us, and we want to do the show with her. So it was basically a gift that Aaron and Shannon gave to me, and it was all because of them.
Holly's character, Piper, was the crazy, overscheduled, overstressed middle sister. We always called her Solomon. She was always trying to make peace between Prue and Phoebe, the oldest and the youngest sisters.
We are not supposed to use our powers for our own personal gain. That is what it says in the Book of Shadows. Not so loud. You said we needed money, right? Well, I'm getting some.
Come on, you guys! Brad was very much a champion of mine as well, and he had something to prove to the network as much as I did. So it was like somewhere halfway through the first season, I was like, dude, you gotta take it easy on me. I am getting really exhausted. And he was like, I'm just trying to prove to the network what you can do. And I was like, well, I appreciate that, but I need a nap. That wasn't so hard.
It was interesting to watch her character evolve over the course of the series, because when Prue died, the middle sister became the oldest sister, and it was a struggle for her at first, and that was a lot of interesting stuff for us to mine as a character, because she had never been in charge. She'd always been the peacemaker. Suddenly she's having to set the agenda. She's having to be the matriarch.
I've always had a big sister, and I don't know how to live without one. They made it a somewhat cathartic experience for me, so when I'm actually crying at Prue's funeral, it was really me kind of working out what I had to do, because here was this, you know, situation that was very much going to be to my advantage, but it was at a cost of her, and that was something that I obviously still have not reconciled.
Not the crying thing.
Leo, I have growing powers inside of me. Powers that I do not understand. Add that to raging hormones, and I guarantee you I am absolutely entitled to do the crying thing.
From this show, I met my husband and had these 2 miraculous babies. But in the meantime, you know, Piper was having the same journey of her own, you know, with her kids and her husband, and I don't think that was an accident.
So I hear you and Leo are thinking about having a baby.
Where did you hear that from?
Brad went to the studio and said, I want to have Holly get pregnant. Aaron and Duke hated that idea. This is a show about 3 sexy women. You can't have one of them being pregnant. They were worried that it would ruin the ratings, and it didn't. So she had the baby, and then she had another one.
I spent 2 years pregnant on screen, but like 3 years pregnant, because the first season I did a fake pregnancy, and then the second season I was pregnant myself with Finley, and I called Brad and I said, we have a problem. And he goes, what? And I said, well, I'm pregnant. And he goes, you're a season late. I said, no, you were a season early.
Piper, you okay?
Of course I'm okay. I'm having a baby, for crying out loud. Jello?
It's really yummy.
I was the first one and the only one that was, in the cast and pregnant. So it was like the guys didn't know how to operate around me. It's like, everything changed.
Those darn contractions are a lot more painful than they should be.
And even still, they had gone through my first pregnancy with me, and I'm pregnant with Riley during the last part of the last season. And here I am in the second to last episode, and the whole house is blown up around me. And I'm just like, could we get more smoke, flames, fire, and gas around the pregnant woman? If this child turns out strange, you're all getting sued. He was a little big, but he's very healthy.
Doesn't get more perfect than this.
Desperate House Witches, when Piper faces her worst fear, in a way, with the perfect mother. And she's feeling completely inadequate. I mean, she's a working mom. She has her club. She has her job as a witch. And she wants to be a good mom to her kids.
She is not going to use magic to make Wyatt a costume.
Oh no. Watch me.
She had to deal with the fact that she was trying to be all things all the time.
Ha ha. How you like me now?
And here she's faced with this woman who she thinks is just the perfect mom. It turns out that, of course, she's a demon. She's too good to be true. She's a demon. And I loved her, and I loved Piper, how angry Piper got in dealing with her, because really it made Piper look at part of her own inadequacies.
Oh, she's a demon!
Jealousy is an ugly, ugly thing.
All us moms think those people must be like horrible human beings inside or something. They must be demons. They can't be human.
This place is a mess. Now with 2 children, under 3, basically, I really need to freeze time and take a nap.
I'm a working single mother of 2 kids. I barely have time to brush my teeth, let alone self-reflection.
After an 8-year show, an 8-year run, and the 2 kids, I just really need a nap. And it's funny, I said that like in interviews when I was 25 or 26, I'll just freeze time and take a nap, but now I really mean it, because now I really know what it means.